takes a very sinister and very strange twist, because Medimi, their spirit guide, their angel, makes a request. They get asked to do something very bizarre.
Medimi appeared, and she said, "Nothing is unlawful which is unlawful unto God. One committing adultery on my behalf shall be blessed eternally, and given a heavenly reward."
The angels, or Medimi, reveals herself naked in the crystal and says that they have to cross-match with each other's wives. Dee and Kelly have to swap wives. Now, this is a terrible thing. Jane Dee detests Kelly. Poor Jane cries for 15 minutes. She won't do it. Kelly's not happy. He thinks they're in league with demons. Really, it must seem like they are now, to be asked to do such a terrible thing. But for Dee, it's a final test for him to get the secrets of nature. At the end of this, he will reach the next level, go to the next stage.
The test seemed to be an affront to the laws of God, and it shook Dee to the core. He had risked everything for the angels, but was he now prepared to risk his soul?
And he battles against it, and he says he won't do it, and he says he can't do it, and then he gives in. And ultimately, he becomes the instrument of the angels. Ultimately, they take him over, and he does everything that they tell him to do.
So here, they draw up a contract after 2 days that they all solemnly sign, and they do go ahead and, recorded in Dee's diary, the pact is fulfilled.
I can see there is no other remedy but for our cross-matching. So it must be done. I offer my soul as a pawn.
There is something very empowering about the breaking of taboo. Certain sex practices are seen as being able to enhance magical awareness, to put you into a different state of consciousness. Laying there in a room, listening to your wife have sex with your business associate and magical associate while you were laying there with their wife, this very real physical act might have been a step too far. This was as far from theory as it could possibly get.
So there's actually much more going on spiritually than just some wife swapping here. They're not just swingers, they're sinners. And in Renaissance Europe, that really is tampering with eternity.
But it spells the absolute end of Dee and Kelly. Nothing is the same again. It changes everything, and the angelic conversations come to an end.
For Dee, the wife-swapping did not produce a great revelation, and after 7 years of tireless scrying, Kelly finally freed himself of Dee and the angelic conversations. He devoted himself to alchemy and was invited to work directly for Rudolf in Prague. Suddenly, Kelly appeared to have found the secret formula of the Philosopher's Stone. He became famous throughout Europe. He was made a baron, given a castle, and lived a life of outrageous success.
He's personally working with Rudolf II on alchemical experiments, making gold. He seems to be able to make gold, and people witness it, they see it, and word spreads like wildfire. Even right the way back to England, Elizabeth I sends out spies to come over and try and get Kelly back.
Kelly's fall was as swift as his rise. He was unable to produce unlimited quantities of gold, and Rudolf threw him in prison. Was it because Rudolf realized that he had been the victim of a clever con trick, or that Kelly refused to reveal his secret formula? No one will ever know the truth, as Kelly died attempting to escape from prison.
Although we never really know the truth about Kelly's death, Dee does mention him in his diary as a small entry. He just says, Kelly is slain. This extraordinary relationship, this partnership, the greatest occult partnership ever, is finally come to an end.
With Kelly's death, the angelic conversations were at an end. The promises of the angels had come to nothing, and Dee's dream of finding the secrets of the universe was over. Dee returned to England in 1589. Queen Elizabeth had lost interest in her noble intelligentsia, and Dee was desperately short of money. The final blow came when his wife Jane gave birth to a boy, the product of her unholy union with Kelly.
What was passing through Dee's mind in those last days? Did I get it wrong? Did I think that they were saying to me something that was just me, was just my hopes and fears projected? Were they ever there at all?
Dee never questioned the validity of his angelic actions, in the sense that he never thought he'd just been defrauded by Kelly, that he'd been strung a line. He believed in them right to the end. He buried his papers or hid them in secret drawers in chests. That's how they were found subsequently. He did so because he wanted the message to be carried on into future generations.
Dr. John Dee died in 1608. He never deciphered the Enochian language, but it formed the basis of a magical system that continues to be practiced by occultists. The language's origin and what happened between Dee and Kelly during the angelic conversations remains a mystery.
Dee has suffered a lot at the hand of history. You could say he backed the wrong intellectual horse. Certainly few people today are interested in angel magic outside of the fringes of the occult. I think we should remember him as someone who was willing to risk everything to know, someone for whom the pursuit of knowledge was worth risking his body, his immortal soul, his reputation, everything.
All Dee wanted to find was the truth, the paths he went down, the extraordinary lengths he went to, and what is left is inexplicable. It's an enigma, it's a mystery. But in the end, Dee did it because he wanted to find out the real truth behind everything.
Today, no one believes that angels can provide the answers to the secrets of the universe, but modern science has shown that Dee's instincts were fundamentally correct. Scientists have now discovered that there are unseen forces that govern the physical world.
We are surrounded by ugliness and war and inhumanity and squalor. We perhaps all have feelings that things should be better than this, that there is something beneath the skin of reality that would make sense of all this. And you can certainly see what an attractive vision that is, how it might be worth sacrificing everything for just the slimmest chance of that heaven-opening possibility.
Are you fascinated by Masters of Darkness? Well, put your questions to expert Aaron Paramore in a few minutes at channel4.com History. And that was the last one in this series. Next Tuesday at 10 and 4, it's the invasion of the Body Snatchers. Check it out in just a moment. Back to tonight, and next up, animal cops have their work cut out for them in New York City. Some extreme cases of cruelty and neglect, which make for compulsive viewing if only because it's so shocking. Stay with 4.